If you're in the market for a new mid-range phone from Samsung right now, you've got two conflicting options: the Galaxy M52 5G and the A52s 5G. They are two incredibly similar phones that are priced slightly differently but are essentially targeted at similar customer bases. So in this video, I'll be comparing them to find out which one's right for you. Let's begin. Starting with the design itself, the difference between these two phones is huge. While both these phones feature a plastic back, the A52s is easily a better looking device thanks to its attractive color options, complemented by a clean finish. This is further backed by the fact that the A52s has IP67 rating, whereas the Galaxy M52 does not come with any kind of water and dust protection, even not the basic ones like IP53. Plus, although the M52 opts for a slimmer, more lightweight design, whereas the A52s is the heavier one here, it delivers a well-balanced heft instead. The A52s could have been a tad bit slimmer, but I don't mind that. On the other hand, M52's sleek form factor is not necessarily a good thing, as it does feel a bit cheap. Plus, I'm also not a fan of how hollow it feels too. So if you prioritize more on design, the A52s is an obvious choice, but if you are someone who always puts a back cover on the phone, it should not matter a lot. Now moving on to the display, both these phones bring a full HD Super AMOLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate and Gorilla Glass 5 protection. There's a similar center-aligned punch hole cutout on either of them, although the one on the M52 is marginally larger. Likewise, the M52 enjoys a larger 6.7 inches panel opposed to the 6.5-inch display on the A52s. Being a Samsung-made screen, both of these phones have very similar display calibration, but I noticed that the one on the A52s is noticeably more vibrant and punchier. Furthermore, the viewing angles and white balance is also much better on the Galaxy A52s. The A52s can get brighter too, but the Galaxy M52 does not necessarily struggle with maintaining visibility outdoors either. Hence, it's pretty obvious that Samsung has used a slightly inferior panel on the M52. That's not to say that M52's display is absolutely terrible, but among the two, picking the winner is a pretty easy job. Still and all, I have no complaints regarding the 120Hz refresh rate on both of them, since there are no weird micro stutters or lags when scrolling through the UI. But considering the competition, I strongly believe that Samsung should have offered a higher touch sampling rate, since the 240Hz response rate on these phones feels wildly insufficient, especially while gaming. Talking about the performance side of things, this is where things get confusingly similar. Historically speaking, Samsung had been using relatively underpowered chipsets in its non-flagship smartphones so far. Thankfully, that chain has been broken with these phones, as they enjoy a pretty powerful Snapdragon 778G chipset. Still, one might say more powerful Dimensity 1200 or Snapdragon 870 powered smartphones are readily available in this price bracket, but for a Samsung phone, this is a pretty significant upgrade. Complementing this silicon is either 6 or 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM alongside 128 or 256 GB of UFS 2.1 storage. Needless to say, their performance level is incredibly alike. As usual, I ran an app opening and multitasking test between them and got very similar results. Additionally, the A52s and the M52 deliver near identical gaming performance as well. Demanding titles like Genshin Impact do take a toll here, as I only got about 40 FPS on average under medium graphics and 60 FPS settings. One crucial thing to note here is that compared to the Galaxy A52s, the M52 gets warm rather quickly, although there's no performance throttling of any sort. This is most likely due to M52's slim form factor. On to some relatively less demanding titles, PUBG Mobile manages an easy 60 FPS under smooth graphics and extreme frame rates on both these phones. Likewise, I got a steady 60 FPS in Call of Duty Mobile at its max settings. Moreover, 120 FPS optimized games like Critical Ops and Injustice 2 utilize this high refresh rate screen to the best of their ability too. Besides gaming, the software experience on the A52s and the Galaxy M52 is the same as well. Both of them ship with Android 11 with full-fledged One UI 3.1 and is currently on September security patch at the time of recording this video. If you recall, the Galaxy M51 ran on the core version of One UI instead, which is void of a few features like secure folder, good lock compatibility, and more. Still in all, the software support between the Galaxy A52s and the M52 is slightly different. Even though both of them will receive at least 4 years of security updates, Samsung specifies 3 years of OS updates on the Galaxy A52s, while Samsung has not confirmed how many years M52 will receive. Anyway, their 5G support is pretty identical since the Galaxy A52s supports 12 5G bands compared to M52's 11. Okay, let's talk cameras now. Here, the Galaxy M52 has a 64 megapixel triple camera array, whereas the A52s features a quad camera setup with additional depth sensing lens. Up front, there's an identical 32 megapixel selfie shooter on either phone. Under normal daytime conditions, I found these two phones to be incredibly similar, both from its primary as well as the ultra-wide-angle shots. The difference between the two is almost negligible at times, and I found that neither of them struggles with locking focus on close-up subjects. If I have to nitpick, the photos look relatively more vibrant on the A52s, and at times M52 shots are nominally low on contrast while also coming off a little warm. However, since the A52s has OIS in its primary cameras, you get a slightly better sharpness, especially if you click photos of your moving pet, whereas the ones from the M52 are a hit or a miss. Plus, A52s's low-light photos are superior than the M52, again, all thanks to OIS. Hence, they are sharper, retain more details, and have brighter exposure. The images also look pleasingly cooler here as compared to the greenish hue on M52 shots. Turning night mode on, the M52 compensates for its performance a bit, even though images are still sharper and brighter from the A52s. Now, despite the A52s featuring a dedicated 5 megapixel depth sensor, edge detection in portrait shots is similar from both phones. Upon closer inspection, you can see that the subjects look a bit smoothened on the M52, and the reddish/pinkish tint from the A52s's portraits is slightly pleasing looking too. Apart from that, these portraits are very similar. Even selfie and portrait selfie photos are nearly identical from both these phones. Apart from the slight change in skin tones and black levels, we don't have a solid winner here. Getting to videos, even though there's an OIS support on A52s's primary lens, Samsung has not offered the best of stabilization here. Under both 4K 30fps and 1080p 60fps, compared to the M52, videos look relatively more stable on the Galaxy A52s. Its stabilization is still far from the level of steadiness I've come to expect. Likewise, you can shoot up to 4K 30fps ultra-wide-angle videos from both these phones, while they're void of a 60fps option across all resolutions. Under this, footage from neither phone is stable, and the M52's videos look relatively warmer. Dialing it down to 1080p 30fps, the results are much more stable from both of them, although the Galaxy M52's results still looks warmer and with worse exposure control.
Hey guys, so I'm shooting a selfie video from the Galaxy M52 5G and the A52s 5G, and as you can see, there's this mild greenish tint from the M52 selfie video, whereas there's a pinkish hue on the Galaxy A52s selfie video. Apart from that, both phones can go up to 4K 30fps resolution, and the quality is also quite similar. Both phones crop in a little bit to maintain stabilization in the videos. About the microphone quality, well, both of them sound quite similar.
On the audio front, the Galaxy A52s takes a clean sweep. It has a 3.5mm headphone jack and stereo speakers, both of which are absent on the Galaxy M52. Hence, from loudness, stereo separation to detail preservation, things sound way better on the dual speakers of the Galaxy A52s. Finally, the M52 and A52s feature a 5000 and 4500 mAh battery respectively. During my regular everyday usage, I managed to get about 6 hours of screen on time from these phones on my typical usage, with roughly half an hour more endurance on the Galaxy M52. In terms of charging, even though both of them support up to 25-watt input, Samsung only ships a 15-watt power adapter. With the 25-watt charger, the A52s charges slightly faster than the M52 because of its smaller battery capacity. So that brings us to the end of this video. As evident from everything I've discussed so far, the Galaxy M52 and the A52s are identical on most fronts, including the performance. So it's obvious that the Galaxy M52 is easily the better value for money product. Yet, if you want premium features like IP67 rating, slightly better OIS cameras, and a superior design, I still think the Galaxy A52s is worth paying extra. So that's all for this video, guys. Do subscribe to Gadget Byte for more tech related content like this. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and I will see you in my next video.